From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spar on the radio.
Hello to Macy. How are you today?
Hey, I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for letting me catch you today. So can you tell me, how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
Oh, so I've been a singer-songwriter since the age of 11, which is really young. I'm 23 now, so you can do the math.
So I'm going to tell you about when you first started. So can you tell me more about your debut single, maybe, called Cinema?
Yes, of course. So my debut single, Cinema, was released in 2020. So yeah, I got on a project called the Forte Project, and they pushed me into studios and songwriting sessions, which I never really got pushed into before. I always just kind of like wrote my songs on my own. So I was getting pushed in with sessions and co-writing. And I was like, do you know what? Co-writing is really fun, like having more than one brain in the room. So yeah, that's how Cinema was created, really, through the Forte Project. And that was my first ever single. And I was like, well, I co-written with loads of really cool writers. So I was like, why not just release this as my first one? So
So what was it like going to the recording studio for the first time?
yeah, so it was crazy. I probably went to the recording studio for the first time when I was 11, I think, or even maybe before that a little bit, because I got the opportunity to work up in London from a really young age. So I entered a few competitions, and then they gave me the opportunity to go into a studio at a really young age, obviously like 11. So I feel like I'm really familiar with that kind of environment. So I guess that helped me in a way, doing it from such a young age. So yeah, it was great. Like the first time going into a studio, I was just like, oh wow, this is amazing.
So can you tell me more about Obvious?
Yes, Obvious. Oh wow, that's a throwback as well. So Obvious was, I think, it was my third single. I don't know why I'm asking you, but it feels like such a long time ago now. Yeah, so Obvious was actually wrote when I was probably around the age of 14, 15. So I wrote that song, yeah, when I was quite young too. And then it was kind of just in my little bank of songs. And I was going through my demos with Dan, my producer, and he was like, this one's actually quite good. It's got potential. Obviously, it sounds completely different to what you've heard, but obviously we recorded the vocals and yeah, just made it brand new, Obvious, and yeah.
So where do you get your creative ideas from?
So I can literally go from walking down the street to seeing, things in the street and just writing down in my notes. Obviously, like I said, co-writing is absolutely amazing because if I'm having a bit of a writer's block that day, the other person, might be on the best game. So yeah, I would say probably just writing stuff down in my notes, taking it in and working with people really, and just bouncing off each other and yeah, just getting creative in the studio. I think that's the best way.
So why was there a long break between you released your 2021 single called Wait?
Yeah, so I released that one. So that was my new era. So yeah, so Wait was in January 2021, and obviously we had the lockdown during these years. So yeah, I was writing loads on Zoom with different producers, different writers, and then the one day we wrote Wait, and I was like, you know what, this could be a good comeback kind of thing. New era, new type of sound. I think I finally found Macy, if that makes sense.
So can you tell me more about Rainbow Eyes?
Rainbow Eyes. So Rainbow Eyes was based on, can you remember in lockdown when we had the rainbows in the windows? And yeah, so I was going on my 30-minute walk when we was allowed to do that. And I could see the rainbows. I just wrote down in my notes rainbows, rainbows in windows. And then kind of just come up with the idea of Rainbow Eyes. It's really wacky. The song is crazy. It's about, basically, I was going crazy in lockdown like everyone else. I was like getting really annoyed. So yeah, that's how Rainbow Eyes was born, really, from all the rainbows in the window.
So, Katie, what was it like putting your first EP together called Words for Love?
Yeah, that was such a fun experience. And again, like I worked with so many different people on that EP, from, you know, like photographers to videographers. Like it was such a good experience. My first ever EP, and I couldn't have wished like a better team to work with. And I did loads of shows around that time, and we gave out like little love heart lollipops in each show. So that was really nice. You know, it was like a proper like little theme for the EP then. So it was a really great experience. My first ever one.
So, can you tell me more about the first single released? Because I know Breakup Hangover was on that EP. So, can you tell me more about Breakup Hangover?
Yeah, so Breakup Hangover was obviously on the EP. So the whole EP was called Words for Love. So it was like the stages of a breakup. So from where you're like you're completely heartbroken to where you like get it better, and then you're like, I'm good. So Breakup Hangover was obviously like the first stage of a breakup. And it was basically about, like, how do I put this? So you're like getting drunk kind of, but like off love and like breakup, and then like the day after kind of thing, like the hangover. We kind of based it off that. And then yeah, that's really how it was born. I don't really know how the idea come along. It was just in my notes again, Breakup Hangover, just the title. And then yeah, we just
So, can you tell me more about Shoulders Back?
Shoulders Back. So obviously that's on the new EP, Third Person, which is out now, everyone. And yeah, Shoulders Back is about my mum telling me to be confident and put my shoulders back. So I could literally be shot, and she's like, put your shoulders back, like be confident. And so I kind of took that like as a confidence thing then, you know. So like when I'm performing, like I make sure, it sounds so silly, but like put my shoulders back, be confident. Yeah.
So, can you tell me more about Forget Me Not Blue?
Forget Me Not Blue. So Forget Me Not Blue, it wasn't a situation that I have been in. It's one of my best friends went through a really bad breakup. And I obviously was there through it all with her. So I seen like everything from where like it first happened to like how confident she is now. So I basically was like, do you mind if I write a song about your situation? So yeah, I wrote it about, you know, like obviously going through the breakup and then coming out the other end where like you're confident and like, you know, ready to take on the world.
So, can you tell me more about your EP that released called Third Person?
Yes, so Third Person is obviously the lead track of my EP, Third Person. And it's about wanting to see myself like from a bird's eye view, then I can put it that way. So kind of wanting to watch my life. And I think one of the lyrics is in the second verse, and it's like, watch my whole life like a pantomime, and then shout from the seat when the fear creeps behind. So like shout from my seat when the anxiety creeps in. Like I think at that time when I wrote that song, I was in quite like a fragile place, and like I just wanted to see myself as other people saw me.
So, can you tell me more about your headline gig that is coming up on the 2nd of March?
Yeah, it's really exciting because I get to perform my new EP to a live audience, obviously. And yeah, so the 2nd of March, Saturday the 2nd of March, I've got a headline show, the first one of the year, in Foundry in Brecon. And I've never done a gig in Brecon, so it'll be really cool to, you know, do that.
So, what kind of support acts have you got with you?
Yeah, so I've got some really cool support acts, and I've got Ellen Grace, and she's amazing, love her. And I'm trying to think the other name now because I know her name as her name, but she goes as like another name. So give me 2 seconds, I will get that up as quick as I can. Yeah, so Ivor Woods, yeah, Ivor Woods too, and they're both really, really cool. And I've had Ellen Grace before, so that'll be really fun. And I've never met Ivor, so it'll be good to meet her as well.
So, what other gigs have you got coming up this year?
So on the 1st of March, which is the day before the headline show, I'm supporting Malini in Porters in Cardiff. So that'll be fun to support. So that's my first show of the year, really. And then on the 27th of March, I'm supporting one of my best friends, Liam J. Edwards, in club, which will be lush. I love performing in club.
So, can you tell me, how's it been a independent artist for you?
Do you know what? Like, obviously, it's amazing, but like, obviously, it's really difficult as well some days. But I think being an independent artist is really rewarding because, like, you first start, you're your own boss, so you can do what you want to do, I guess. But yeah, like obviously there's good days and bad days, but I would say like 90% is very good, and then you've got like that 10% which is quite hard, you know, being an independent artist. But I'm proud of it. And I think like it's definitely the way forward.
So are you going to be writing any new music this year?
Yes, so I am writing loads at the moment, kind of trial and error and things, you know, because I released the EP last year, so that was quite a big release. So yeah, just like in and out of the studio, and I'm not like in a massive rush to release like at the beginning of the year, maybe towards the end of the year, I'd probably say. And yeah, I'm trying to write an album too.
Well, that'd be good. So we'll probably release that like next year.
Yes, it's on the cards for next year.
Well, that'd be good. So finally, can you tell my listeners where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm on all social media platforms, and it's at Macy Music, and on Instagram it's _.
Thank you very much for letting me chat to you today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. That was so fun.
And I wish you all the success for your headline gig in beginning of March.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, and you.
Goodbye, Macy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.